So just taking a moment to find your nice, comfortable seat where you feel straight and aligned and also relaxed. And kind of balance your head on top of your spine. Take a super deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. And settle into your skin for a moment. Just really feeling each part of your body. Acknowledging what might need extra attention in your practice today, and also acknowledging what feels really great at the moment. There are always parts of our body that are functioning beautifully, and we unfortunately sometimes take that for granted because we're too busy focusing on the things that maybe need a little help. So let's acknowledge the whole package. And then start to breathe a little deeper and slower. Ujjayi breath if you can. Notice your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, all of that. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart, and based on what you just discovered about your current state, set your intention for what would benefit you most from your practice today. When you're clear about that, take a deeper breath in. Big sigh through the mouth. Release your arms, roll your shoulders back a little bit. Good. And then we're just going to go ahead and come to the front of the mat and start in a standing position. So today we're going to be working with the sides of the torso quite a bit, lengthening the spine, lengthening our sides. So we're just going to start nice and grounded, feeling our feet at the front of the mat, really connecting downward, feeling all of the muscles kind of hug in towards the bones to get engaged, feeling our spine lengthen even more. Bring palms together in front of the heart and just take a big inhale. Reach the arms up, spread your fingers, lift your chest, look up if it feels okay with your neck. Hold this for a couple of breaths. And then just waiting for your next exhale to bend your knees, fold forward, relax your neck, and just drape in ragdoll. If you need to shake the head a little bit, that's fine. We want to make sure our neck is totally relaxed here. Spine lengthens a little bit with every exhale. And then on your next inhale, you're going to come all the way back up. Just reach up and stretch. And as you exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, interlace your fingers and press your palms up. And on your next exhale, just do a little side bend to the right. Take an extra breath here, really feeling left side of the rib cage open. And then inhale up, and as you exhale, lean to your left. And then inhale all the way back up, and as you exhale, fold forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine, come up halfway, and then exhale all the way back down. Step back with your left foot. Nice deep lunge. We're just going to hold this for a moment. Let the spine lengthen, let the hips start to open a little. And then go ahead and drop your left knee down. I want you to take your right arm up towards the ceiling. So basically you're just kind of rotating your torso to the right. And then on an exhale, I want you to take your right arm over your head so that it's parallel to the ground. Maybe consider pulling that right hip back a little bit. And then bring that right hand down outside your right foot, extend the right leg, flex the ankle and toes, pull your chest forward, just open up that right hamstring a little bit. And then bend your right knee. Let's take the arms up and overhead, tuck your tailbone under, lift the chest. Let your hips move forward to open up the front of your left hip. Let's take both hands down inside your right foot. Please feel free to use a block here if you need to, but I'm going to ask you to come on to your left forearm. You might even be able to get the right one down, maybe not. You just do whatever works for you today. Take one more breath here. And then whether your left forearm is on the ground or on a block, I'd like you to leave it there and take your right hand up towards the ceiling again. And then on your next exhale, keeping that chest rotated open to the right, take your right arm over your head. Nice deep side stretch on the right. Take one more breath. And then bring your right hand down, come back up onto your left hand. You can move your right knee back to meet your left knee, wag your tail a moment. And then let's take our first child's pose. Backside to the heels, forehead down. Take a breath here. Just from that initial warm-up, you might actually feel the difference between right side of your body and left side of your body. Let's go ahead and scoot forward into Sphinx. Take a couple of breaths here to lengthen out. And then first downward facing dog. Turn the toes under. Reach that tailbone up and back. If you need to pedal the feet a little bit, go for it, whatever works for you. And then take a moment to really lengthen the spine. So you know that we're working on lengthening the torso, and of course the spine is that central canal. So as much as possible, we want that to lengthen. And then take a big step forward with your left foot. We're just going to hold the lunge on this side for a couple of breaths. Let this left hip and thigh open a little. And then drop the right knee down. Let's take the left hand up towards the ceiling. So again, you're kind of rotating your torso this time to the left. And then on an exhale, take that left arm over your head, parallel to the floor. Maybe even pulling the left hip back a little bit. Get a good stretch there. And bring the left hand down outside the left foot. Extend your left leg. Flex the ankle and toes. Pull your chest forward. Stretching into your left hamstring. Bend your left knee. Bring the arms up and overhead. Tilt the pelvis back as you lift your rib cage and allow your hips to move forward until you feel this on the front of your right hip. We're going to bring both hands down inside the left foot. Again, using a block or not. Come on to the right forearm. Maybe see if the left one will go down, and if it doesn't, don't force it. Just take a breath here. And then keep the left forearm on your mat or on your block. And again, we're going to rotate left hand to the ceiling. And then on an exhale, take that left arm overhead. Nice deep stretch. Left hand comes down, come back up onto your right hand and step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up, stretch up. And as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. So I want you to take your feet to about the width of your mat. It doesn't have to be precise. We're using this for side bend, not a squat today. So just place your right hand on your right thigh, reach your left arm really high up, and slide your right hand down your right leg. So we're just getting a slightly deeper side bend, and you've got your legs separated for stability. In a little while, we'll do it with the legs together and really get into it. But I want you to just take a couple of extra deep inhales into your left side, left rib cage. And then come on back up, and we're gonna put the left hand on the left thigh. Reach that right arm really high, and then just slide your left hand down your left leg, wherever it will go. You should feel a big stretch on the right side of your torso. Take a couple of extra deep breaths in there. And then come on up. And we're actually going to turn sideways on the mat now and take an extra wide step out, toes pointing forward to begin with. And what I'd like you to do is just grab your elbows, hinge at your hips, relax your neck, and just fold forward for a couple of breaths. You can either bend your knees and walk your hands up your thighs, or arms out to the side with a strong core. Just come on up to standing, still having this wide stance. Now we're going to work into a warrior two. So your left foot's going to rotate in, right foot's going to rotate out. Bend your right knee and find your alignment in your warrior two. So right shin should be close to vertical. That right knee is kind of pressing out a little bit towards the little toe, so your right outer hip is engaged. Left leg is strong, left foot is slightly rotated in. We're gonna put the left hand on the left thigh, reach the right arm up and over for a reverse warrior. If you can, keep that right knee deeply bent and the outer hip engaged. Come on up from that. Take your right forearm onto your right thigh, reach your left arm up and over so that you've got one long diagonal line from the fingertips of your left hand all the way out to the outside edge of your left foot, and reach through that left arm. Come all the way back up, and you can straighten your right leg. Kick the hips to the left and lengthen your rib cage to the right. We're going to find triangle pose. So right hand can be on your shin, your foot to the floor, but I want you to maintain length on the right side of the spine and make sure that both of your legs are straight. Hold this for another breath. And then on your next exhale, I want you to bring your left arm over your head, parallel to the floor. This is extended triangle. Come all the way back up. Rotate your right foot in. Rotate your left foot out. Let's find warrior two on the left side. So you're going to bend that left knee. Make sure the shin is vertical. The knee is pressing out a little bit. You want that left outer hip engaged. That keeps your knees happy and healthy. And then once you're firmly set in your warrior two, keep your legs in that position. Take your right hand to your right thigh. Reach that left arm up and over to reverse your warrior. You should feel a nice stretch on the left side of the torso. That left knee is still bent and it's still pressing out a little bit. Come on back up. Bring your left forearm to your left thigh, right hand to the ceiling, and then take it all the way over so that you have one long straight line from the fingertips of your right hand to the outside edge of your right foot. Really reach through that arm so you feel a big stretch. Come back up, straightening your left leg. Kick your hips to the right, lengthen your rib cage to the left. We're coming into triangle. So keeping left side of the spine long, both legs straight, both arms straight. You find your alignment, and then on your next exhale, you're going to take your right arm over your head parallel to the floor for extended triangle. Come all the way back up. And you can just step back up to the front of your mat. Bring your feet together and bring your palms together. So now we're going to do that deeper side bend. I want you to reach up and actually grab your left wrist with your right hand. So you're actually going to hold your left wrist with your right hand. Your feet should be together here. This will be your deepest standing side bend. Push strongly through your left foot while you pull on your left wrist. You'll notice that pulls the shoulder and the upper arm. And then as you exhale, you're going to lean to your right, keeping pressure on that left wrist, because what you're doing is elongating the entire left side of your body. Let's take a couple of deep, slow breaths here. And come on up, and we'll switch. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Push strongly through your right foot. It's kind of like you're trying to drive the sole of the foot into the floor. Pull on that right wrist enough that you feel your shoulder kind of lift. And then as you exhale, you're going to lean to your left. Keep pulling on the right wrist and pushing through the right foot. You should feel a huge stretch on the right side of your body. And come on up. Relax the arms, roll your shoulders back a couple of times. Bring your feet together, bring your hands together. Inhale, reach up and stretch. And as you exhale, you're going to fold all the way forward, fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, look up halfway and lengthen. And then back down. If you like doing full vinyasas, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, step back onto your hands and knees, give yourself a little tail wag, and then take a much-deserved child's pose. From your child's pose, you'll scoot forward into Sphinx. You're also welcome to do Cobra if you prefer. And then after you've had a moment to lengthen in whatever you're doing, we'll move into Downward Facing Dog. So it's your second down dog. Really stretch as much as you can. So to make this work properly for lengthening the spine, you want your fingers spread and your palms really pushing into the floor. You want the shoulders to move away from each other so you're not compressing the neck. Then you want to push, really push your hips up and back and press the heels down very strongly all at the same time. From here, drop just your right knee down to the mat and let the right foot, just the foot, rotate out to the right like a kickstand. Your left heel is going to spin flat. You're going to take your left arm up towards the ceiling. And so you're coming into a modified side plank. Take one more breath here. And then on your next exhale, I want you to take your left arm over your head, parallel to the ground, and stretch. Now, if you have the core strength to do it, we're going to come all the way up from this into locked gate, which means you're coming all the way up. Your right knee stays down, your left leg is straight. Left hand is going to go on the left thigh. The right arm reaches up and you're going to slide your left hand down. So it's kind of like doing a reverse warrior, except that you've got a knee down, which makes things a lot more stable. As you come out of this, just bring both hands back down to the mat and go straight back into your downward facing dog. Press those hips back. Flatten out your palms. Let your heels sink down towards the floor. And then drop just your left knee to the mat. Let that left foot kick out to the left, so you've got a tripod. Your right foot spins flat, the legs stay straight, right hand reaches for the ceiling. So you're in a modified side plank. And then on your next exhale, you're gonna take that right arm over your head, parallel to the floor. Get that nice big stretch. And then if you can, using your core strength, just rising up, putting your right hand on your right thigh, left arm reaches up and over, slide your right hand down your right leg. So you just rose up into locked gate posture. As you come out of this, you're going to take both hands back down to the mat. Toes turn under, hips press up and back for downward facing dog. Really stretch back. So you're going to step your right foot forward. I want you to spin your left heel flat. You're going to come up into warrior two again. You've already been here once, right? So what I'd like you to do is we're just going to work a little deeper. You're welcome to use blocks if you need to or modify. I'm just making suggestions here. So the first thing I'd like you to do is scoot your right foot farther forward if you can, and maybe come a little deeper into your warrior two. If it's possible, your right hand, fingertips is fine. It's going to come to the floor outside your right foot or ankle. Please feel free to use a block here if you need to. Left hand to the ceiling. Left arm overhead. Right? So you're going to come parallel to the floor with that left arm. Now, only as much as you can. It's not going to look like it did earlier. Just be mindful of your body. Begin to straighten the right leg. Maybe it straightens, maybe it doesn't. So this is a very extended triangle. Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle. Take one more breath. And then just bring your left hand down, step straight back, downward facing dog. Big step forward with your left foot, right heel spins flat. You're coming up into warrior two. Remember, you're working at your level, so some of my suggestions aren't for you. Don't take my suggestions. If you can, your left foot scooches forward a little bit, and you sink a little deeper into your warrior two. If that's not you today, don't do it. If you can, left hand or fingertips outside the left foot or ankle. They can be on a block. Right hand to the ceiling, and then right arm overhead, parallel to the ground. Only if you can, you begin to straighten your left leg, and it's okay if it doesn't go all the way straight. Extended triangle. Right hand's gonna come down. We're going to step straight back to downward facing dog. A stretch. And then drop down to your knees. Arching around your back a couple of times. Sneak in a little cat-cow. You've been doing a lot of lateral work. And then we're going to leave the sides alone for a moment and just do a little low back strengthening. So you're going to extend your right leg out behind you, flex the foot, and raise the leg into the air. And then if you feel like you can, extend your left arm. We're just going to hold this for a moment. Left hand and right knee come back down. Left leg extends, take it up into the air. If you can, right arm reaches out in front of you, and then you just hold it. Left knee and right hand back down. Wag your tail, and then take a child's pose. And of course, you're welcome to do a full vinyasa if that's more your speed. If you're in child's pose, take a moment to really breathe deeply into your low back. And then scoot forward into Sphinx. Really lengthening, pulling your chest forward. And one final downward facing dog. So really stretch in this last down dog. Stretch as much as possible. Walk your feet forward. Standing forward bend. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So we're just going to do a basic tree pose today, but I'm going to have you do it, if you can, with at least one arm up and overhead so that you get a nice lengthening through the torso. Do whatever's best for you. But we're going to go ahead and stand on the right foot first. So your left foot can be either kind of at the ankle, so your big toes are down like a kickstand. It can be at your calf, or it can be up in the groin. Just don't press against the inside of your knee. And then what I'd like you to do is go ahead and start with your hands in prayer. But if you're able, you're going to interlace the fingers, extend your index fingers up, and I want you to reach up strongly and keep reaching and keep reaching and keep reaching until you feel both sides of your spine lengthening. Shoulder blades are lifting. You feel taller. You feel straighter. And then release, palms to heart, foot to floor. Same thing on the other side, just stand on your left foot. So we'll bring the right foot either to the ankle, to the calf, or to the thigh. Just don't press against your knee. Palms come together to begin with. Go ahead and find Jupiter Mudra with fingers interlaced, index fingers extended, and start reaching up. And what I want you to focus on is just lengthening the sides of the torso. So you keep reaching, reaching, reaching. You feel your shoulders lifting. You feel your waist lengthening, rib cages lifting. You're breathing. Feeling very straight and tall. And then palms to prayer, right foot to the floor. Take a huge inhale, reach your arms up, stretch up, up, up. And then exhale and fold all the way forward. Look up halfway. And then back down. So it just depends on your body, but it's a worthwhile endeavor to be able to sit on the floor without using hands or knees. I know that's not always an option for everyone, but you might consider, just for giggles, trying to get down without using your hands. And if that's not an option, then you just ignore me and use your hands and knees if you need to. We're gonna come onto our backside, find the sit bones, legs are extended, spine is straight. We're gonna take a couple of breaths in Dandasana. Just sort of checking in. How's the body doing so far? How's the breath, the mind, the heart, the energy? How are we doing with our intention? And then I'm gonna have you keep your right leg straight. Bring your left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Lean out over your right leg. So wherever your hands are right now is probably the perfect place for them. So if you're grabbing your calf, keep grabbing your calf or your ankle or your foot. I want you to try and keep your right leg straight and raise it up and lift the chest. Take one more breath here. And then just go ahead and let that right leg come back down. I want you to just pick the left knee up so it's pointing at the ceiling. We're going to do 2 twists, so I'll give you the opportunity to go deeper. This first one, I want you to actually just wrap your right arm around your left shin and kind of pull so you have a nice straight spine. And then reach the left arm up and around and way behind you to get the deepest stretch that you comfortably can here. Take a couple of breaths. Rotate back to the front. Lean out over your right leg for a breath with the left knee pointing up because that releases the hip a little bit. And then as you come up, I want you to pick your left foot up and bring it across the right thigh with the foot flat. You may do the same thing we just did and hug the left shin with your right arm. Or if you can, you're going to reach your right arm up to lengthen the right side of the torso. And then take the right elbow or tricep outside that left knee or thigh. Left hand behind you again, twisting to the left for the second time. Unwind yourself, extend your left leg, give both legs a good wiggle. And then keep your left leg straight. Bring your right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Lean out of your left leg. And so wherever your hands are on this side, it's a good place to keep them. Let's just raise that left leg up. Lift the torso nice and high. So as much as you can, you want your left leg straight. You want your spine straight. This is heron pose, Kanchasana, like the bird, heron. One more breath here. And then you bring that left leg back down. We're just gonna pick the right knee up. So this is the first twist where you're just gonna take your left arm and grab your right shin. Raise your right arm up and then swing it around behind you for a nice deep rotation to look over your right shoulder. Come back around. Lean out of your left leg for a moment, keeping that right knee pointing up. Just for a breath, it helps release the hip. And then come on up. Pick your right foot up, bring it across your left thigh. That foot is flat. So now if you can, and it's optional, you're welcome to just hug the shin again. Otherwise, raise your left arm up to lengthen the left side of the torso and then bring that elbow outside the right knee or thigh, right arm around behind you, deeper twist to the right. Unwind yourself, extend your right leg out, give your legs a good wiggle. And then we're gonna take that nice wide V with our legs. So make sure you're on your sit bones. Your feet are pointing straight up. Your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling and your legs are very active. So you don't want soggy, loose legs. You want your legs very engaged. I want you to lift up through your chest and just however far you can, it doesn't matter, kind of walk your hands forward a little bit. We're going to lengthen just a tad through the spine. And then reaching way out in front of you. So since you're really reaching forward, I want you to start walking your hands in little steps over towards your right foot. and then walk them back to the center and keep going. Walk them towards your left foot. You did a lot of inner thigh separation with those triangles, the extended triangles. Come back to the center and see if you can pull your chest forward just a little bit more. Walk the hands back up, but keep your feet wide. So now we come back and do a little bit of a side bend. You're gonna just gently tuck the fingertips of your right hand underneath your left thigh. So your right elbow can basically rest on the right thigh. You're gonna take your left arm up and over, leaning to the right, getting a really good stretch on the left side of your torso. Come all the way back up. Tuck the fingertips of your left hand just a little bit underneath that right inner thigh, so your left elbow can kind of rest on your left thigh. That's your support. Reach that right arm up and over. Your legs are both still very active. Come all the way back up from that. Keep the knees wide, but bring the soles of the feet together. Hands are right behind you on the floor so that you have a nice straight spine. Press your knees out to the side and down towards the floor. So it's like your knees are reaching away from each other as they reach down to the floor. And then keeping the soles of the feet together, just slide them out in front of you. And you're welcome to either arch the back and lean forward or round the back and lean forward. One or the other will feel better to you today. So you choose which feels best. You're just gonna clasp your ankles. You want your chest moving forward, but whether you do that with your back slightly arched or whether you do that with your back slightly rounded is completely personal preference. You do what feels good for you today. And then coming up from that, extend your legs out. Give them a good wiggle. Good. And then we're just gonna do a tiny bit of core work that also hits obliques. So I know you guys have heard me say before that a tight muscle is a weak muscle. Strong muscles feel secure enough to let go and stretch. We've been doing a lot of elongation of the sides of the waist. We're gonna strengthen them a little bit before we do our final stretches. So I want you to go ahead and roll onto your back. You're gonna hug your knees in and rock side to side. And then I want you to stick just your right leg straight up in the air. Now, depends on your body and your back. So the gentlest thing you can do for your back is to leave your left knee bent and in the air just like you've got it. All right, so right now your back should be flat because what we're gonna do is take both hands reaching up for our right foot. Shoulder blades are off the ground and we're gonna hold that but rotate even a little more to the right. Now, if you're feeling extra hardcore today, don't let me hold you back. You would maintain that, but extend your left leg out parallel to the floor, but you have to keep your back flat. So we're just gonna hang out here for a few more seconds before we switch sides. Left knee can be bent to help you keep your back flat, or you can have it extended parallel to the floor. So right now your obliques on the right side are working really strongly. One more breath. You can lie back and hug your knees in, rock side to side if you need to. So now we're gonna stick the left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Remember, the gentlest thing on the back is to leave your right leg just like it is with your knee kind of hugged in, and that's fine. So reach both hands towards your left foot, get both shoulder blades off the ground, and then reach even a little farther to the left. You may keep your right knee bent, Or you can go for the gold and extend it out parallel to the ground, but we still want both shoulder blades off the floor if you can. You're reaching to the left of your left ankle or calf or something, and you're breathing. And you're not cursing at me right now. You're happy. You're taking one more breath here. Awesome job. Hug both knees in and rock side to side. So we're just going to unwind from that with a gentle twist first. We'll do a deeper one in a moment. But for now, just let both knees stay bent and drop over to the right with your left arm opening out to the left, head turning to the left. Take a few breaths here. So you did that oblique work just now. This is kind of like your reward. Let the sides of the waist start to soften a little bit. On your next inhale, bring your knees back up, and as you exhale, drop the knees over to the left. Your right arm is going to open out to the right. Your head's going to turn to the right. And again, think of this as your reward for doing that oblique core work. So just let the sides of the waist soften. On your next inhale, bring the knees back up, give them a good squeeze and rock side to side. So we're gonna put our feet flat on the mat. We're gonna be coming into bridge pose. So your big toes are gonna touch, your heels are gonna separate. And we're gonna really work now on lengthening the front side of the torso. So we've done a lot of sides, right? We've been doing all the triangle and all of our side bends and stuff. This is for the front part now. So we're gonna really focus on maximum length. That requires two things. Not only do the hips have to lift, but the rib cage needs to lift and move up. So let's start with the hips. Take your buns off the floor, push through the heels, get your hips as high as you can, and then lift the rib cage. So even if you put your hands on the bottom of the rib cage, you want to lift it as high as you possibly can. You can feel that when you actually get it. So try and keep everything lifting and lengthening as much as possible on the front of your torso. We're here for 3 more slow breaths. Slowly lower down on your next exhale. Hug your knees in. Give yourself a nice little side to side rock. And now we're going to do our slightly deeper twist. So I'd like you to keep your left knee hugged in towards your chest. Extend your right leg all the way out onto the ground. Just hug the left knee for a moment. And then your right hand is going to grab behind your left knee or left thigh. Your left arm is going to open out to the left. And I want you to twist to the right. How much you twist is up to you. But please keep your right hand on the back side of that left thigh. Because what I'd like you to do is not let the thigh move, and only as much as you can begin to straighten your left leg. So what happens is you're moving towards a 90-degree angle with your legs, having them both straight. Now maybe they don't go all the way straight, and that's fine, they don't have to, but don't let go of your left thigh. You want to keep it up here. Take a couple more breaths. And then just roll onto your back again. Hug your left knee in. Bring your right knee up to meet it. And then you're going to keep the right knee hugged in as you extend your left leg all the way out onto the ground. Just hold this for a moment. I want you to use your left hand and grab behind your right knee or behind the right thigh. Right arm opens out to the right. So you're just keeping that right knee bent initially, but you're using your left hand to pull your leg over, right? So you're coming into your reclined twist. And you keep your left hand on the back of the right knee or thigh, and you begin to straighten your right leg. So basically, the sole of your right foot is pointing over to the left, while the sole of your left foot is pointing down. So if somebody looked at you from above, you'd have something close to 90 degrees with both legs straight. Now, if your legs don't straighten, that's okay. You should just be feeling this a little bit in your right hamstring and glute, as well as lengthening on the right side of your torso. On your next inhale, come on back up. Exhale, hug your right knee in. Inhale, bring the left leg up to meet it, rock side to side. And then our final little side stretch is going to be banana pose, banana asana. So you're going to extend your legs out onto the ground and reach your arms overhead. The first thing I want you to do is take your right foot and put it on top of your left. So your ankles are crossed. Right leg on top of left. Right hand grabs left wrist. Remember when we did this standing? It's similar. But now what you're going to do is kind of poke your left hip to the left and pull yourself into a curve to the right. So with that right foot hooked on top of the left, and I actually kind of like to move my feet over a little to the right. You can do that too if you like. But everything's still flat on the ground, right? Both buns are flat, both shoulder blades are flat. But what you've got is this nice banana shape with your left side stretching. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then just return to center, and we're going to switch. So put your right foot down, cross your left ankle on top of the right one. That's to keep it from sliding over. And if you want to be like me, you can slightly move your feet to the left. But your left ankle's on top of the right. Your left hand is grabbing your right wrist, and you're kind of poking your right hip out, and you're making a curve over to the left. Both buns are flat on the ground. Both shoulder blades are flat on the ground. You're making a banana shape with your right side stretching. Come back to the center, release, bring your hands down below your shoulders, uncross your ankles, bend your knees. Just take your feet to the edges of the mat and prop your knees together for a moment. Just kind of let your hips release. And then bring your feet together and let the knees drop open so the soles of the feet are touching. And now we're just going to do a fun low back lengthener. So as you inhale, press your low back into the mat. That's that posterior pelvic tilt. It takes the curve out of the spine and allows the low back muscles to lengthen. On your next exhale, just release all the tension in your body. You'll feel your back arch again. That's natural. One more time, inhale, flatten the back. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Keep breathing. And then exhale and release and begin to extend your legs and come into Shavasana. So letting legs separate, making sure the spine is long, that includes your neck, making sure your shoulders are relaxed. Let your jaw relax. So you should have a little bit of space between your teeth. Let your eyes gently close. Take a big inhale through the nose and a big exhale through the mouth. Just feel your body settling down towards the earth. Feel how your breath just automatically starts to slow down and get shallower and softer, more even. Notice that you can allow your thoughts to just kind of run in the background. You don't have to stop them, but you also don't have to be involved in them. It's almost like you're ignoring your thoughts. They're there, but you're just not paying attention to them. And then because we did all of that work with the torso, I simply want you, for the next few minutes of relaxation, to be acutely aware of the sensations of your breath in your torso. In other words, I just want you to feel every inhale and every exhale. Things you might notice. You might feel your belly rising and falling, or you might feel your chest rising and falling. You'll feel your lungs inflate, perhaps. You might feel the ribs spread apart on the inhales. You might feel that contract and the lungs deflate as you exhale. You might notice how elastic the muscles and skin are to accommodate the breath. Whatever it is that you focus on is fine, but simply stay with the physical sensations of your breath in your torso. If you find your mind pulling you off in other directions, that's okay. Just bring yourself back to awareness of the physical sensations of your breath in your torso. Start allowing your awareness to move throughout the rest of your body now, feeling all of your body from head to toe. Start to deepen your breath and begin to move fingers and toes a little bit. As you're ready, take that deeper inhale, spread your fingers and toes. As you exhale with a sigh, relax them again. Inhale even deeper and just stretch. Exhale through the mouth and relax again. Bend your knees, hug them into the chest, or just let your feet rest on the ground for a moment. When you're ready, you can roll to one side. preferably the right side. And then just use your hand in front of your chest or press up to sitting. And so as you come to your nice elongated spine with relaxed shoulders and your head balanced on top, just take a moment and sort of check in with your body. Notice how you're feeling. Notice the whole package like you did at the beginning of class, and just notice if it's any different. If it is any different, that's what you did for you. That's what you and yoga did for you. So congratulate yourself for that. Our breath work today is going to involve all 4 parts of the breath. So in yoga, we see that there are 4 parts. The inhale, the internal retention, which is holding the breath in the lungs, the exhale, and then the external retention, which is holding the breath out of the lungs, or you can think of it as a really long pause before you inhale again. We're going to use all 4 parts of the breath. Now, the caveat to that is that if you get anxious holding your breath, either in or out, then you're going to skip that because there should be no anxiety or stress whatsoever when we do breath work or pranayama. So here's my suggestion for your breath work today. If you feel okay with it, I would love for you to do a 1-1-2-1 ratio breath. What that means is that your inhale, your internal retention, and your external retention will all be the same length, but your exhale would be double that. An example would be inhaling for a 3 count, holding your breath for a 3 count, exhaling for a 6 count, and holding the breath out for 3. Remember, skip any of that if you need to. If it all seems overwhelming, just breathe slow and deep. But if you can, all 4 parts of the breath, 1-1-2-1 ratio breathing, preferably all through the nose. So let's all take a deep breath in. Exhale completely through your nose, and then begin your ratio breathing. Finish the breath that you're on. Make sure that you complete all 4 parts. And then slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. And we pause for a moment in gratitude. Gratitude that we have healthy bodies, healthy minds, beautiful hearts, that we have the ability to do this practice, to keep ourselves healthy and happy and whole. If that's not something to be grateful for, I don't know what is. Take one more big, huge inhale through the nose. Exhale with a big sigh. Palms to the forehead, just reminding us to be present. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth. And palms to the heart, reminding us to keep our hearts open and to always practice kindness and compassion and love. Thank you guys so much. I am grateful I get to practice with you. Namaste.